I want to share something that is on my heart. I move across the country, 45 hours drive. I am able to secure a job that starts paying me within 2 to 3 days of getting to this new state, this place that I've never been before. I'm working this job for 2 months. It's helping me solidify a grounding here in this new place. It's helping me replenish my finances. I'm starting to get to a point where I can actually put a down payment, which is half of a deposit, for a retreat with the medicine iboga to help with the addiction to lust. This retreat takes place in the town that I live in. So I'm like knocking at the door of really emerging into a different chapter of the story, and about to cast a pretty large vote towards the healing of the lust. And for those who don't know, iboga is an ancient root from Africa that has been proven to be one of the most potent substances for healing addiction. Not one that you have to keep coming back to the well over and over and over again, but one that within a few uses can rewire your brain. And yes, it takes work afterwards to actually integrate it into the fabric of your life, but it holds a really powerful intelligence to help clear you out. So I was in the state of still really wrestling with the lust, realizing that I want to come to this iboga as a springboard. I don't want to come in limping to where I'm not making progress on this journey and then I'm just turning to this root medicine to do all the work for me. So I'm having a financial breakthrough, and I go out drinking 2 nights in a row to a bar with some friends. First night, pretty manageable. I don't feel that hungover the next day. Second night, I'm like, well, I didn't feel that hungover. And I'm not somebody who really drinks alcohol that much. I went years in my 20s without drinking at all. The second night around, it's a Saturday night. I'm drinking, come back, playing board card games at the table with some people, and I start to have an absolute mental breakdown. I feel this like possessive spirit that's just pulling me into this extreme paranoia and anxiety. And I actually just communicate this with the people around me, and they receive me in it. Felt like I was speaking up for an earlier version of me that was in these environments, these paranoid states socially at many times in high school, and didn't speak up for myself and just became mute and spiraling out of control in my mind. So anyways, I speak up for that. The night takes a different trajectory to where it's starting to feel better. But the next day, I am so rocked. I just feel like shit, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And from that depleted place, I go into a binge. So this is Sunday. I have to work the next day. And I drive all the way to work, about a 20-minute drive, I think, to the job. my job's really not that bad. I've known for a little bit that it's something I want to transition out of, but I realize that it probably wouldn't be the wisest choice to shift out of it without having something set up. I'm somebody that would most of the time put in 2 weeks, and I say most of the time because my younger self would just blow off jobs and quit them abruptly. But then as I've matured, I feel like I have the wherewithal to let my employer know, give them some time to find somebody else. But no, this time I resort back to that fucking 18-year-old self that's running from responsibility, so clouded in my discernment, so just soaking filthy wet with swampy muck water from the lust and the fucking alcohol and the shame and the lethargy and the brain fog, that I make an absolute critical decision for solidifying my life out here on the fly without even blinking a fucking eye. And I just leave the job site, and my boss calls me, and I say that I quit. Mind you, I get along with all my coworkers. Like I said, I'm making some of the best money I've ever made. Really starting to sink into the pillar of my finances, which has been such a tremendously challenging process to crack the code of in my 20s. And it is a month later now, and I am here to report that I have not been able to find a job yet. And I have interviewed for many. And this has triggered an absolute nosedive into darkness, into a state where relapse has become the norm on a weekly basis, in an eerie way on the same days. Around Sunday and Monday, I feel as if I am taken out of commission for my life. And then the rest of the days is spent trying to rehabilitate myself, but then just depleting myself all over again. I've been going through this for a month now, and I'm exhausted by it. And I'm just sharing this to say that this warfare on the spiritual level is so much deeper than we think, because I truly believe that this force knew that if I went out and drank, that I would then relapse, and that I would be put in such a dark space mentally that I'd make a stupid decision to quit my job. The quitting of the job would trigger this feeling of inadequacy, this sense of not knowing to do with my time, this immense level of stress and anxiety about not being able to have an income flowing in, watching my fucking resources deplete, and going back into the same fucking pattern that I have gone into of not having the money to live the life I want to live. And I've just felt like I've been in a minefield, tripping over program after program after program that's being hit in my consciousness, and allowing those programs to take me right back into the well-trodden ski trail, ski slope. It's just neurons that fire together, wire together, and just this well-trodden path of don't have enough money, don't have a job, don't know what I'm doing with my life, feeling despair, feeling depressed, feeling anxious, feeling stressed, fucking feeling overwhelmed. What am I gonna turn to in order to escape that feeling? Well, the same thing that I've been turning to since I've been 11 or 12 years old and was gifted an iPod Touch for Christmas. Little did I know, what is that? Essentially 15 plus years later, I would be trying to really establish my adult life, living on the whole other side of the country, and I would literally be almost at the point of sabotaging all of it because of lust. And I just feel like I wanted to share that I am I'm moving through it. I am getting back on track. It's been about a week. And every day that I'm removed from a relapse, I feel more and more like myself. And I feel like I owe it to this path and its importance to start sharing again about my journey. And I want to give thanks to a brother that I spoke to earlier who was very encouraging on every fucking video that I posted on this channel. And when I stopped because I relapsed on a long streak and felt so much fucking shame and imposter syndrome that what I have to share is not really of value anymore because I relapsed and went back into the same old fucking lower self ways again. He mentioned after this happened, he wasn't seeing me posting, this force of darkness that's behind the lust wants me to be on the fucking sidelines because it knows when I'm not expressing and sharing and connecting with others around this journey, that I will be more isolated and more repressed in the natural energy that wants to emerge, and therefore will be easy prey for this predatorial force. And I talked to him today, and he left me with encouraging me to start sharing again, as I've watched him in the past couple weeks light up YouTube every single day with his content. So yeah, he's definitely the impetus behind me wanting to just communicate what was on my heart right now in this moment. And I can see my mind right now trying to figure out, does any of what I just said make sense? Is it wrapped up in a nice package in a bow to provide this super coherent meaning for somebody to help them in their life? I don't know. What I can say though is I'm realizing a part of me wants to hit the panic button right now, as far as being at a really low place financially, not having any of my family around me, being in a completely new place that I've never been before, only 3 months here so far, and struggling to find a job. And it's like this external orientation about freaking out and trying to figure out what I can latch onto externally to make my way through this. And what I'm realizing about this path is that I actually just need to come right back to myself and to giving respect to the importance, the pivotal importance of holding the seed. Because the only reason that I got myself into this predicament of sabotaging my entire life, taken an incredible adventure out to a place I've always wanted to live, living in an awesome home in one of the coolest towns I've ever been, and then watching on repeat this force work its way through the lust to try to put me in such a dark place mentally where I have to flee and I can't actually maintain living in this spot. So I'll end with my solution to not having a job and struggling to find one, watching my finances deplete, watching my mind go into fucking chaos and despair, seeing depression like stalking me around every fucking corner throughout the day, and having to make a conscious choice continually, like, I don't want to be depressed anymore. My answer comes right back to holding the seed. And I got pretty lukewarm there for a bit and almost convinced myself that maybe it's not even possible to walk this journey. And I'm reminded again, I'm remembering again that it's absolutely possible and it's absolutely worth it. And maybe for some, it's not black or white and there's a gray zone. But I'm here to report for me that when I'm not upholding SR in my life, every single aspect, it's like if we are tending to our farm and there is this poison leaking into the land, and then the freaking cows that we're raising are grazing on the grass, and then they're fucking eating the poisonous grass, and then we're eating the cows, and just creating this toxic fucking soup that we're all living in of what could have been this beautiful oasis, fucking reciprocal circle of life farm becomes an atrocious existence. And that's truly how I feel with my own life, is I have right in front of me such a glorious opportunity to really step into my highest version, and the lust is just seeping in when I choose to participate with it, seeping in to every fucking nook and cranny of my existence, and I'm fed the fuck up with it. I'm so tired of it. I'm so exhausted by it. And I just hope that this message can reach a brother's ears that is in need of a reminder of its importance. Much love. Thank you for listening. It's time to grow those antlers again. Oh man, it's time to grow those antlers again.